Nikola Tesla, one of humanity's greatest geniuses, believed that the number 3 was the key to the universe. But what if I told you that this number also carries profound spiritual power, present in the Holy Scriptures and in silent dawns? Tesla woke up every day at 3 a.m., the same time that many wake up without explanation. Coincidence? Or a spiritual calling? In the Bible, the number 3 represents divine completeness, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Jesus rose again on the 3rd day, and many spiritual events occurred involving this number. Waking up at 3 a.m. can be more than just a simple awakening. It can be a direct connection with heaven. In this video, you will understand why so many people wake up at this time, what this has to do with the spiritual world, and how Nikola Tesla may have already known this before the rest of us. For many generations, the belief is spread that waking up in the early hours of the morning was not a simple coincidence, but a moment filled with sacred meaning. There were those who believed that those who woke up at this time were being called by a higher power, as if a special energy field had opened up exclusively for them. Far from being a purely mystical or unfounded belief, this idea runs through cultures and traditions like an invisible thread that connects spirituality and consciousness over time. Now, imagine yourself in a deep sleep where everything seemed to flow naturally, and suddenly you wake up for no apparent reason at exactly 3 a.m. This type of sudden awakening has intrigued scholars, spiritualists, and even scientists. What if this moment is not just a detail of the sleep cycle, but rather a manifestation of something that goes beyond the limits of common perception? Many people experience this type of nocturnal interruption and tend to associate with stress, anxiety, or dysregulation of the biological clock. However, when these episodes are repeated frequently, it is natural to seek a deeper explanation. And that's where spirituality comes into play with surprising and transformative answers. Research on nighttime awakenings reveals that they are not merely a quirk of sleep. Traditional Chinese medicine, for example, offers an interesting perspective. The human body is connected to energetic cycles throughout the day, and each time corresponds to functioning of certain organs and emotions. Waking up at 3 a.m., therefore, could indicate more than just insomnia. At the same time, many spiritual doctrines see this moment as a divine opportunity for direct connection with the higher plane. But why this specific time? What is so special about this silent moment in the early hours of the morning? In this video, we will delve deeply into the symbolism, possible causes, and hidden purpose of waking up in the early hours of the morning. We will investigate what this means from a spiritual, emotional, and even physiological point of view, offering insights that can transform the way you view these interruptions to sleep. Based on ancient teachings, biblical reflections, and energetic knowledge, we will learn to interpret these silent signs that often go unnoticed. When we look at Psalm 119, verse 148, "My eyes anticipate the night watches, that I may meditate on your words," we understand that these hours are not empty moments, but a call to reflection. It is as if, in the silence of the early morning, God finds space to speak to our hearts. After days full of commitments, tensions, and exhausting emotions, sleep seems like the only refuge of relief. But when this rest is interrupted unexpectedly, we may be faced with a unique opportunity to evolve spiritually. The passage in Mark 6, verse 31, where Jesus invites his disciples to withdraw to a quiet place and rest a little, reminds us that rest is not only physical, but also spiritual. In moments of greatest tension, or when we are overcome by anxiety, we awaken, and this awakening can be a divine invitation, a call to retreat, to silence our minds, and to open our hearts to greater guidance. Many people associate these awakenings with negative omens or signs of something bad. But what if it is just the opposite? What if this moment is a camouflage gift, a sacred gap where we can receive instructions, comfort, and direction for our path? The hour of 3 a.m. carries a special symbolism in several spiritual traditions. It is considered that during this interval, the veil that separates the material world from the spiritual is thinner, allowing purer messages and inspirations to reach our consciousness more easily. This interval is seen as a portal to inner rebirth, a moment when the soul becomes more receptive to divine wisdom. It is an ideal time for deep prayer, silent meditation, and listening to that which cannot be heard during the noise of the day. In Matthew 14, verse 25, we read that in the fourth watch of night, Jesus walked on the water. This shows that even in the darkest hours, the divine presence is not absent. On the contrary, it becomes even closer. What's more, these silent moments can carry powerful messages, especially in dreams or intuitions. Great minds throughout history, such as Nikola Tesla, believed that periods of stillness were perfect for receiving revolutionary ideas. Just as he connected with groundbreaking insights, we too can tune into a higher frequency during these awakenings. This shows that waking up in the middle of the night can be more than just an isolated event. It can be a portal to the sacred. So, if this content is making sense to you, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. We are just beginning to unravel the layers of meaning that exist behind moments that previously seemed banal. Let's go deeper into this journey of discovery. There is a connection between the spiritual realm and the moment of awakening. Those who repeatedly wake up at this specific time may be attuned to subtler and deeper levels of energy. This does not mean that they are doomed to carry a burden, but rather that they are sensitive enough to pick up on vibrations that escape most. At these times, the mind may be at rest, but the spirit is in full activity, ready to receive, understand, and grow. This energy that awakens with us is not just directed toward the physical world. Rather, it prepares us to perceive signs, understand messages, and align our intentions with something greater. That's why it's worth keeping a notebook and pen nearby. Writing down your thoughts, dreams, or intuitions as you wake up can reveal patterns, insights, and answers you didn't even know you were seeking. While the world sleeps, invisible battles are taking place. Spirituality teaches us that there's a constant struggle between the forces of light and darkness, and that this battle also occurs while we sleep. During the early hours of the morning, spiritual forces are at work, and our awakening can be a divine call to remain vigilant. The Bible, in Ephesians 6 verse 12, makes it clear. Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. These awakenings are often divine mechanisms to alert us, a way for God to awaken us not only physically, but spiritually, calling us to intercede, pray, and protect not only ourselves, but also those we love. It is at this time that we are invited to be guardians of the night, not in fear, but in faith. Prayer at these times can be a powerful weapon to bring light, peace, and protection. Even though it may seem tempting to just close your eyes and try to go back to sleep, it is important not to ignore these calls. When God speaks, He chooses the right moment, and the early morning, in its serenity, offers us the stillness we need to hear clearly. During the day, distractions accumulate, drowning out the divine voice. But in the silent night, He finds space to reveal Himself. It is no coincidence that Jesus often prayed during the night. In Luke 6 verse 12, we see that He spent the night in prayer, seeking guidance and strength for important moments in His mission. This shows the spiritual value of these times. When we make ourselves available to pray, meditate, or simply listen in silence, we put ourselves in position to receive that which can only be understood with the heart. Philippians 4 verse 7 reminds us that the peace of God surpasses all understanding. This peace is accessed when we make room to listen, reflect, and truly connect with the Creator. A gratitude journal, for example, can be a transformative tool. By recording what we are grateful for, we adjust our focus to what is working, even in the face of difficulties. For many cultures, early morning is the ideal time for purification. Negative emotions, worries, and spiritual blockages can be released more easily at this time. Traditional Chinese medicine associates a period from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. with the functioning of the lungs, an organ linked to vital energy and deep emotions. If you constantly wake up during this period, this may indicate the need to take care of not only your respiratory health, but also your emotional and energetic balance. Simple things like improving ventilation, using a humidifier, or adjusting your nighttime routine can improve your well-being. But beyond physical care, these awakenings are reminders that we need to nourish our soul, align our spirit, and pay attention to what's happening inside us. This time can be used to engage in simple and profound spiritual practices, such as conscious breathing, guided prayer, or reflective writing. Creating morning rituals can transform your life. The first thing we do when we wake up shapes the rest of our day. Therefore, starting with prayer, meditation, and connecting with the sacred can establish a solid foundation of peace and direction. Matthew 6 verse 33 instructs us to seek first the kingdom of God. When we prioritize our spirituality, everything else begins to fall into place. Recording dreams, practicing introspection, and observing the sign that life offers us are all ways to stay in tune with the divine. Acts 2 verse 17 says, "In the last days God will pour out his Spirit, and young men will see visions, and old men will dream dreams." This shows us that dreams are not mere images of the mind. They are spiritual channels. Being out in nature at dawn can also be deeply restorative. The sunrise is a living metaphor for rebirth and new beginnings. Watching the day break with silent heart can reconnect us with creation and the Creator. Small acts of kindness, such as helping others, practicing compassion, and serving with love, are also powerful ways to deepen our spiritual journey. Our spiritual journey is a continuous path of learning, healing, and transformation. Each awakening in the middle of the night can be an open door to this growth. Don't run away from these moments. Welcome them as invitations from above. Allow yourself to immerse yourself in silence and listen to what the universe and God has to say to you. Waking up in the middle of the night, especially around 3 a.m., may seem like just a disturbance in your sleep. But what if this moment is actually a calling from God? What if what interrupts your rest is a silent invitation to look within, listen to the voice from above, or realign your life with a greater purpose? Throughout the ages, many spiritual traditions have seen this time as a portal between the physical and spiritual worlds, a time when the veil between the planes becomes thinner. And behind this phenomenon, there are profound life lessons that can completely transform the way we view the silence of the night and even the challenges of the day. Below, you will learn truths that your soul may already know, but that your heart needs to remember. Lessons that do not come from books, but from the Spirit's own experience. Lesson 1. Listen to the call of silence. Modern life is noisy, but God, the universe, or our own souls often whisper. They don't shout. Learn to value silence and moments of stillness. Sometimes the most important answers come when all is quiet. Lesson 2. Spirituality doesn't follow the clock. Waking up in the middle of the night may seem uncomfortable, but it may be the only time of the day when you are fully present, without distractions. Be open to spiritual experiences outside of conventional time. God can speak when we least expect it. Lesson 3. There's purpose even in interruptions. What seems like a break from rest may actually be a realignment with your purpose or a loving reminder from above. See life discomforts as potential signs or opportunities. Sometimes pain or discomfort are masters in disguise. Lesson 4. Write, reflect, and grow. The idea of keeping a pen and paper nearby when you wake up is more than practical. It's symbolic. It's an invitation to self-reflection. Reflect on the signs of life. Record what you feel, what you think, and notice spiritual patterns unfolding over time. Lesson 5. You're being prepared for something greater. Being awakened by something greater can indicate that your mission is being activated. Trust that there's a purpose for your life that is beyond what you can see now. Perhaps these awakenings are preparing you.